But as long as you're on the World Wide Web, you're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on vacation everywhere.
Well, what do you guys think of this? I got this whole North Korea story that's been buzzing around. And
I don't believe it.
I find it ridiculous. Here's my take on it. North Korea involved in hacking Sony. Just how did the littlest dictator that couldn't jack in with all his hackers, did they use state-of-the-art telegraph machines? Maybe a couple of soup cans and a string with a USB attachment. Or it could have been Kim Jong-un's elite team of carrier pigeons that recently got smart grid training from China.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman. North Korea's best hope for hacking would be crashing one of their aging 1950s MiG-15 fighter jets into a phone booth. North Korea is going to kill us all with a fax machine and a rotary phone. Kim Jong-un is the Terminator. So, I mean, I just don't buy it. It's like being hacked by the Amish. The Amish hackers got us again. Oh, we're Sony. What do? We don't know much about computers. We only make the PlayStations and all this other electronic equipment. Got hacked by an Amish man with a butter churner.
I could see how they could have a few powerful computers though, because China, they say, has the fastest computers in the world. They could just buy some from. That's the one country they apparently have trading relations with.
Yes, and that's the only way I could see them being capable is that with the help of China or China's technology.
There's parts that don't make sense. Like I could see they could be upset about making fun of their leader, right, or their elected official or their dictator or whatever Kim Jong-un is, right? If this movie's making fun of him, I could see they could be upset about that. But you see, a few weeks ago, they started releasing Hollywood gossip reports. Part of the Sony hack, they started releasing emails from the producers. Like there was one that called Angelina Jolie a brat. It was like, why would North Korea ever do that? Like that part doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I don't believe it. It's like there's no way they're gonna like just release Hollywood gossip.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un's dispatched his crack team of hacking carrier pigeons to leak the gossip about Propagangelina Jolie.
And it's the ultimate, and when they brought up the 9/11 part, that's another part where it's like everyone has got to start thinking about what they're really trying to do here. Because, and suggesting a 9/11 attack, that's not necessarily a hacking attack, that's like an actual physical, like violent attack, right? At 9/11, that was a lot of damage was done.
Yeah, but if he sends a MiG-15 fighter jet from the 1950s and crashes it into a phone booth, doesn't that technically it's an attack on the grid? It's on the...
Yeah, there's no way that they could fly a thing overseas like that, I don't think, that would actually be able to hit and launch an attack in that way.
Doesn't have the range. They'd have to have like a fleet of refueling planes to get one MiG-15 over here.
And the other like scary part is that they try to hint that there could be sleeper cells, but I think it's like North Korea has the least amount of immigration like of any like country in the world, or most all countries in the world. Like there's very few North Korean people outside of North Korea, I think. So it's like the idea that there could be these sleeper cells here, like agents that are ready to attack theaters, is like that part I don't get either. It's trying to get people afraid to go to the movies, I guess, but. And then it also gets like suspects, it's like because they must be under disguise, right? They must be disguised as some other nationality, Chinese or South Korean, or
could this be just some way to make a lot of money on your movie?
Yeah, basically now everyone wants to see the interview, and who wanted to see it before? It's like they actually did win that definite award. It's like there's more press right now for the interview than The Hobbit. And like The Hobbit, they've been building up for like 10 years now, since the first Lord of the Rings. And now it's like everyone wants to see the interview. No one's talking about The Hobbit or whatever. So they actually did win that. Like if Sony actually planned this as a scam, then they won. They definitely won the media award.
Well, I've got this clip here. Obama vows response to North Korea over attack.
U.S. President Barack Obama says he'll send a proportional response to North Korea for a devastating cyber attack on Sony Pictures. Obama wouldn't go into any detail on what a U.S. response might entail, but it comes as the FBI says North Korea was behind the Sony hacking, calling it an unacceptable act of state-sponsored intimidation.
We cannot have a society in which some dictator someplace can start imposing censorship here in the United States.
Obama was speaking to reporters during a wide-reaching end-of-the-year news conference. In it, he touted his so-called year of action, saying 2014 accomplished a series of benchmarks he had vowed to meet.
More jobs, more people insured, a growing economy, shrinking deficits, bustling industry, booming energy. Pick any metric that you want. America's resurgence is real. We are better off.
The end of 2014 also saw the dramatic revamping of U.S. policy with Cuba after over 5 decades of hostility.
I don't anticipate overnight changes. But what I know deep in my bones is that if you've done the same thing for 50 years and nothing's changed, you should try something different if you want a different outcome. And this gives us an opportunity for a different outcome.
Obama says he's committed to making his last 2 years as president count. He leaves for his Hawaii family Christmas vacation on Friday.
Mele Kalikimaka, everybody.
But when he returns to Washington in the new year, Congress will look very different, with the House and now the Senate in Republican hands.
So there you have it. The Obama vows to respond to North Korea. And he says, you can't have some rogue dictator, running around censoring people, which I found kind of ironic.
Yeah, exactly. But what are they doing to the First and the Second Amendment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's telling everybody else about other countries.
Yeah, he has no standing to criticize Kim Jong-un. That's how bad it is. Our own leaders don't have any moral standing to criticize communist dictators like Kim Jong-un. That's how bad our society's gotten. We're not in some free democracy.
Yeah, we're in basically a socialist, fascist society right now.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to explain it because it's globalism, and it's almost like this multi-headed hydra of incorporated tyrannical systems of socialism, fascism, communism, corporatism, monopolism. I mean, it's anything but some free and open market. So,
exactly.
But to call it one or not the other, I mean, it just seems to be this. They've just taken the most tyrannical elements of all the horrible systems of the past and made it into this new thing, globalism. And now you're a global citizen, and it's just absurd.
Just like if somebody comes to your country and you don't like what they represent or anything, you always say, well, why don't you, if you don't like it here, go back to your own country. But we live in a new world order now, so you can't say that.
Yeah, he called for the New World Order in that clip without actually saying it outright, but he said, we've been doing this same thing for the past 50 years, we got to do something different. That's where you saw the New World Order this week with the announcement they did with Cuba, right? USA and Cuba.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So everything's going to change. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 or 20 years they're friends with North Korea, when Kim Jong-un's like Obama's age. He'll be like a guest of the White House, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that means North and Korea will not be North and South. It'll all be one Korea.
Yeah, I think that's what North Korea's always wanted. They want to rejoin the other one, right? That's why they actually are in like a state of war, right? Or they have a huge military, right? North Korea and stuff. Because they're like in a constant battle. I guess they're trying to get back the other side of the country and then get out of like the Americanization of stuff. I don't totally know the politics over there, but
yeah. Well, Dan Dix, he did a trip out there to Korea. Remember a few years ago?
Yeah, he actually went to the demilitarized zone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That they had gotten into a film fest with the Into the Fire, I think.
Yeah, Into the Fire. Yeah.
Because Korea was also hosting the G20. I think maybe that year they had been the host that year.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he got an award for that, didn't he?
Yeah,
or almost got an award for it, or whatever happened.
Yeah.
So
and I think Brian Law and Stephen Davies movie got into a different film fest too. The latest one's called Of the Land.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Organic farming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I've got this clip here. President Obama on Seth Rogen. James Flacco, he calls him. Not James Franco, I think is his name.
Yeah, some Hollywood big shots now.
Hey, but this response to this attack, and then also, would you consider taking some sort of symbolic step, like watching the movie yourself, or doing some sort of screening here?
I've got a long list of movies I'm going to be watching.
Will this be long?
I never release my full movie list. But let's talk of the specifics of what we now know. The FBI announced today that, and we can confirm that North Korea engaged in this attack. I think it says something interesting about North Korea, that they decided to have the state mount an all-out assault on a movie studio because of a satirical movie starring Seth Rogen and James Flacco. I love Seth, and I love James. But the notion that was a threat to them, I think, gives you some sense of the kind of regime we're talking about here. They caused a lot of damage, and we will respond. We will respond proportionally, and we'll respond in a place and time and manner that we choose. It's not something that I will announce here today at a press conference. More broadly, though, this point...
And, there we have it. Obama on Seth Rogen and James Flacco.
I like how he won't reveal his full list of movies, too. How he's
Yeah, no, because that he can sell spots on his movie list to movie producers. So you give Obama $100,000 or a few $100,000, and he's like, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. And then all the Obama zombies run out and they buy and watch all the movies on Obama's list.
Well, he forgot two of them: Bad Santa and Dumb and Dumber. There's two he forgot. Jeez.
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to mention that he's going to have his own screening of the interview. And he might have even already seen it. That's the thing. Because eventually they're going to release it. Now, I think this is one thing that could go a long way for the New World Order, is if Kim Jong-un releases it himself. It would also sort of prevent the New World Order if they're trying to actually stage a war with North Korea. If he actually released it, then it would show, goodwill. And then and in that sense, I could believe that they actually did hack it too. If it was like, oh, North Korea has leaked this to Pirate Bay. They've leaked the full movie for everyone to watch. But if they're just going to hide the movie and then make it this special thing you got to send away to Sony Pictures to see, a special copy that self-destructs, then it's definitely this is just a new type of way to release a movie.
Well, I want my autographed copy.